Hello, gorgeous people. Hubsters, hubsters, hubsters. Happy Monday. I wanted to check in today to, really connect with Mindset Monday. What's going on for you, peeps? It would be wonderful for you to put in the comments below if you're listening. And I wanted to have a chat today about starting before you're ready. So I noticed even today, and it happens every week in the hub, these moments where we get in our own way, knowing that we need to do something. On some level, knowing that we need to either complete something, start something, delegate something, or eliminate something. And we talk ourselves out of it because we're not ready. Maybe it's because we don't quite get 100% of the feeling. Maybe it's because the stars aren't aligned and Mercury's in retrograde. Maybe it's because the kids got in the way. Maybe it's because we ran out of time today. Maybe it's because we don't think we've got enough money. Maybe it's because we don't think we know enough. So what is it that you know that you need to start? On some little level, there's this little spark in you that goes, yes. And there's a little part of your soul that's going, yes. And you're not starting because, there's not quite enough money. I'm not quite ready enough. I don't have enough time. The kids come first and they're more important. So we can beautifully identify this in our clients all the time. Who's got the stressed out mums that say, yes, I'm going to start my exercise regime tomorrow? Who's ever had a client that's going to give up drinking alcohol tomorrow? Who's ever had a client that's going to start their new food, their new food intolerance diet tomorrow? Hey, Carly. So who has had those moments where, I'll do it tomorrow. I'm gonna launch my website tomorrow. I'm going to do it's so easy to point it out in our clients, right? And have you ever personally done it, in your health and well-being? I'm going to start that exercise regime tomorrow. I'm going to stop eating chocolate tomorrow. I'm not quite ready today, but I will be tomorrow. So my invitation to you is whatever you have that little inkling of right now that you need to start today, it's never going to be the right time, right? Now, Carly, I know that you've just got your new reception area. Now, speaking from experience, and there's a couple of clubsters and mentees that I have that have also just, broadened their reception area. Chelsea's one of them. And from the first time I created a reception area and the first time I brought on a staff member for I think it was 4 half days a week, I so wasn't ready. I wanted to do it the next week. I wanted to do it when I'd saved up a bit of money. I wanted to do it when, Mercury wasn't in retrograde. I wanted to do it when I had the computer, when I had enough money to pay that person. There were so many reasons that I didn't start it, and I should have started it 6 months before. But when we finally got there, it was such a short period of time before that just wasn't enough. We needed to get our receptionist on full time. We needed to buy a new desk to be able to support the amount of clients that were coming in. But it's always that case, right? You're never actually going to get it started when you're ready because you're not actually ever ready. Now, I've got the same story when it comes to handing over my books. There was a time when I didn't do any of my receipts. I didn't do any of it, and they ended up piling up in cliche and all shoeboxes. Right? I had shoeboxes full of receipts and shoeboxes full of written out receipts because I originally got the pads from the ATMS, I think it was. And I used to write out receipts for people. And I used to collect all of those receipts, but with the, what's that stuff? The copy paper in between. I used to collect those invoices and receipts from people. And then all the things that I paid for, I'd just chuck all the receipts in there. That happened for 2 years, and I didn't hand in my tax for 2 years. And I kept saying, I'll do it when I've got enough money to pay for a bookkeeper. I'll do it when I've met the right person to take over the bookkeeping. I'll do it when I've put it all into a spreadsheet. Have you ever been in that position where you're just kidding yourself, really? And you're never ever going to be ready. I was never going to be ready to bring on a bookkeeper or an accountant. So I had to start before I was ready. I had to put that outlay in and have trust that next thing was actually going to come back. And it did. It always does. It always comes back at least threefold, if not tenfold for me. It's so scary, Carly says, it's so scary, and I did everything you just said. Yeah, I have all my fingers crossed and it's going to work. Already feeling lighter. Totally get that, Carly, totally. That risk, that feeling that, oh my goodness, what does growth actually look like? I've never been in this type of growth before. I've never employed somebody before. I've never had this type of advice before. And then, and it's a stretch, you go out sideways. I was explaining it the other day, like you go out like you're a clump of Play-Doh. And you're a clump of Play-Doh and you're sitting there nice and happy. And then something stretches you out nice and flat like that. So you go all sideways and wide. And then all of a sudden, because you've gone sideways and wide, you've stretched yourself before you were ready, all of a sudden it starts to shrink back and you can go taller again. And then there's a moment where you go wide again and taller again. So it's a really interesting thing that you feel like you spread yourself thin when you actually start before you're ready, but otherwise you just wouldn't start. Now, Carly, I know you've been putting this off for 3 months or so. And like I said, I put off an accountant and a bookkeeper for 2 years. The second that got looked after, I was so much more empowered by my numbers that I could actually make real goals and stick to them. So the exact same thing happened when I first went out to look for business advice. So I was like, oh my goodness, there is no way that I can leap now. I'm just not ready. Like, I don't have my business set up. I don't have enough clients. I don't have my computer's not ready for it. I don't have the know-how. I don't have the money. And oh my God, I don't have the time. Now, this is a stage where I was sitting in an empty office. The majority of the month, all I was doing was paying for stuff. Money wasn't coming in. I was paying for stuff. But if I didn't start before I was ready, and like I said, I was checking even astrology. Is it a good time to take on something new? Like, of all the things that you could convince yourself out of, starting something new is one of those. And all of the ways you could convince yourself out of them, I've done them all, I promise. So when you feel like you get that inkling is the ignition button for you to start before you're ready. Because I promise you that inkling thing won't go away. Yeah, totally, Katie. Mercury retrograde is one. I can't launch my thing. I can't launch my e-course or my let people know about my ebook because Mercury's in retrograde. How funny is that? So, but you're never going to be ready. If you can find Mercury retrograde, if you can find astrology, if you can find the phase of the moon as a reason not to, the real hardcore stuff of you actually not having the underlying stuff to start, that all goes to the side. So what is it that you're currently that you could start, that you are trying to find excuses not to start, and if you did start it, could change everything for you? In that moment, when I needed more support in my business for my practice to grow, it was the thing that changed it. If I didn't get a receptionist at the time, if I didn't get a clinic manager at the time to support me, there is no way I could have seen as many clients as I saw, 7,000 people through our doors, without somebody there. And yeah, I wasn't ready. There was no way I was ready. I didn't have enough money. I didn't have enough time. But within, say, a month to 6 weeks, we didn't have enough space for that person to have the desk. The time when I needed the accountant and the bookkeeper, it was the thing. I knew it. I had this inkling. I knew that my business couldn't grow unless I actually got on top of my books. I knew that it was the next step for me. You know, somewhere in there you know, but you don't want to know, because that means more money, and that means more time, and that means more effort, and that means, you know, sometimes it means fear of failure. Sometimes it means fear of success. What are people going to look at me if I actually do really well? And then, starting before I was ready, I put that outlay out and I got that bookkeeper and my business ballooned. The next step was finding a business coach and a mastermind. Every single time I've done that, I've been like, whew. You know, the first time it was $500 for a 12-week program. And at that time, I was freaking out. I was going, but I knew, because I didn't know that stuff. And I was sitting in an empty office and I was outlaying like 10 times that much money in outgoings. And so I went, okay, I know this is the next step, and I had to start before I was ready. And again, by the end of that 12 weeks, I had to up level and get a new business coach and mentor. And then there was the masterminds, you know, the times that I was surrounded by people. I knew that was the thing for me. I knew that I really resonated with that person and that tribe of people. So I've been in masterminds here in Australia and overseas. And every time I've had that little inkling and I've gone, oh, I don't have the money. Oh, I don't have the time. How on earth am I going to pay for this thing? And then every single time it's paid back 3-fold to 10-fold, depending on what it is. And the last one is the big one that I went to that really stretched me was Awesomeness Fest. So I've told you guys about this in the success sessions before, and the clubsters all know about it. But Awesomeness Fest is a big event, and it costs a lot of money to go to this 3-day event for entrepreneurs all around the world that are doing awesome things. And you get interviewed for it. And I thought, yes, this is totally up my alley. And I got on the phone and I was like, okay, I can feel it. This is in alignment with me. I'm super excited. And, you know, there are people at this event that are multimillionaires and even billionaires that are trying to find trying to fund venture capital funding for other entrepreneurs. So they come to give people money. So I was possibly going to hang out with millionaires. And there's, you know, at the time I was freaking out. There was no way I ever felt like I was ready for that. But I was like, okay, I feel that little inkling. And if I don't take that inkling, I know that my business and my reach won't grow. Okay, so I got on the phone call. And then they went, see, Carly, they went, okay, this is amazing. What you are doing and the ripple effect for you around the globe is going to be amazing. So we definitely want you to come with these other 200 entrepreneurs. And it's going to be on the other side of the globe. The flights aren't included and all, you know, transfers and getting there. So it's $3,000 US. How would you like to pay for that today? Holy dooly. Like at the time, there was no way. I was, okay, I've got to move this to there and this to there and this to there and this to there. And then I had to explain it to my husband, like every reason not to start. But I shifted all the things that I needed to shift. I did all the things I needed to do because there was that little spark in me that knew that that was the next step. And albeit from there, I've gone to 4 Awesomeness Fests. I've connected with the most extraordinary people on the planet. It's up-leveled my business in ways that I could never have imagined. I've connected and done online summits. I've written a book. I've been published by somebody who was at their publishing house who was at that event. You know, starting before I'm ready gets me there. If I waited until I was ready, there is no way I wouldn't even be a naturopath right now. Because I wasn't ready to go back to university the second time round. I wasn't ready, but I had to start before I was ready. So what is it today that you have an inkling about, that you know could bring your business to the next level, that you know you could help exponentially more people if you just did that thing in your business or in your practice, but you're just not ready? You're looking for Mercury to go out of retrograde. You're looking for to win the lottery before you do it. You're looking for your kids to be 18 before you do it. What's that thing? What's that one thing? And I want you to pop it in the comments below. Now, there's heaps of you guys that are listening to these and you're not engaging. Bless you. I love stalkers. I love it. You're sitting in the back and going, yes, that's a nice idea, but not actually taking action on it. This is for you as well. Start before you're ready. Press the live button on your Facebook. Get in there and write your little message or write your thoughts before you're ready, because you never know. Somebody might be in here ready to help you. Somebody might be in here ready to hear that same message from you. So Katie, taking my workshop posters to businesses today. Shit scared of being told no. Isn't that awesome? Who else has done that? So I've totally done that, taken workshop posters to the local. So I had my business on the high street, and I had to go from door to door and offer my poster for the front window. And I totally wasn't ready for that either. I wasn't ready for the no's that I got, but I also wasn't ready for the yeses. A no's a no. The world didn't end. My head didn't explode in front of that person. The ground didn't swallow me up. But I did it anyway. And once I did it, we were getting full houses for our events at Inspirational Health, and it was fantastic. So what are you putting off today? Daisy, doing an online program with my life coach colleague. Awesome. Starting in January, and haven't even started thinking about it yet. Cool. And so what would it look like if you started before you were ready? What would it look like if you actually went and did that one thing today? Started before you're ready. Bridget, need to actually set goals with deadlines so I don't feel so lost. Awesome, Bridget. Well done. We do have the Pracky Planathon this Thursday for all those people that are also in plan mode or in goals mode or in schedule mode for the last 8 weeks of this year and for the whole of 2018. We've got the Pracky Planathon this Thursday at midday, and that could be good for you, Bridget, too. And you could start that before you're ready as well. You might not be ready for it on Thursday, but you may as well just do it because it's there, it's available, it's ready to go. Yes, so my invitation to you today, think about the things that you've got like in the back of your mind. You know that it's drawing you forward. You know that it's going to help your business. You know that it's the next step, whether it's an actionable step like Daisy and like who have we got? Katie are doing today. Whether it's an employing step, so employing a receptionist, delegating what you've got to a VA, maybe putting it forward, maybe even coming on in the club. Maybe it's taking your business to the next level when it comes to finding a mentor. Maybe it's delegating your money into a bookkeeper. What is it for you that could change everything for you if you just started it before you think you're ready? And check in. What are those little things that are coming up for you? What's the worst case scenario? Katie, the ground will not swallow you up. And your head won't explode in front of that person and you won't die of embarrassment. Trust me, been there, done that. So what is it? Check in with what's holding you back and then start before you're ready. Because honestly, every single time I've done it, it's paid off 3 to 10-fold. Katie, you're one of the most natural people I know. But the fears are so real. Yes, totally, right? Fears are very, very real. That's the other thing, utilizing this space in the hub, or if you're choosing to come to the club, doors close this Sunday. Utilize these spaces because the fears they are really real. And if you've got somebody here that can hold you accountable, to hold your back, or you can utilize it by being really vulnerable and really real in a post here on the hub, or coming and joining the club where it's even more structured and in a space where you can really hold yourself accountable. You can actually not only start before you're ready, but continue and continue and continue every time something comes up. Because the fear can be overwhelming. The fear can take over. And, I don't want that for everybody in here. I don't want another 50 years of practitioners not making enough money and having to have their second jobs. I don't want I don't want those statistics to stay the same for our profession, where we're told time and time again that only one in five of our businesses is going to succeed. Like, what the is that? And if we're too busy listening to our fear, if we're too busy listening to the not enoughness of not enough money, not enough time, not enough patience, not enough clients, all that kind of stuff, I promise you, if you're surrounded by people that are just feeding you that information, that's the only way that you're going to hear it, and you're only going to, why on earth would you start? Instead, surround yourself with what's happening here in the hub, or if you're choosing to go into the club, what's happening here in the club, is that surrounding yourself with the people who are breaking through those fears on a daily basis, that are pushing through, going and starting things before you're ready, following things up, getting things done, getting their goals achieved, scheduling things and actually achieving them in ways that you can't even imagine. If you're able to do that and surround yourself in that and actually engage and connect and be vulnerable in those spaces, you can do it too. I promise you, we've just had 30 people in the last club that are kicking goals like no tomorrow, and they've gotten in such a wonderful state of starting things before they're ready and kicking those goals that the momentum of that just keeps you going. It's amazing. So that's available to you too. If you are all about your goals at the moment, the Pracky Planathon is on Thursday. And I will see you there at lunchtime on Thursday. There's a post about that for Training Thursday. If you look up #Training Thursday, there's a Pracky Planathon coming this Thursday. And if you are considering starting before you're ready today, go do it. We've got your back here in the hub. Go and start that thing. If this has resonated with you this morning, start that thing that you think you can't do right now because of all of those other reasons, because you're never going to be ready. So do it now. All right. Have an amazing rest of the day. I will catch you tomorrow for Tuesday tips. And if you haven't registered already for the Pracky Planathon on Thursday, go do that now as well. Start before you're ready. Okay. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye.